we were getting ready to open. We were like in the last few months of construction and COVID happened. So yeah, which was crazy times. This was absolutely like the most terrifying thing for us.
Jon and Renee Jelinek, two incredibly smart people, have just moved into a new town. We've already covered their story in they own a coffee shop. They quit a terrible job. They a nonprofit helping youth with music. And probably a number of other things I just forgot about in the meantime. A clothing store, franchise. Yeah. There's quite a bit they've done already in this story. And now they have purchased and are redoing, have redone completely, beautifully, a concert venue. Significant investment on their part. And guess what? Right when they're about to open, COVID hits.
And so we're gonna get into that today. And welcome to Voices on the Wind, and that podcast about catching those ideas that float in the air.
Well, they do float in the air, I guess.
They float in the air, but just capturing those ideas and nurturing them into and some good, some great.
Yeah. I'm Toby Lyles. It's my son Maverick Lyles. We're both entrepreneurs. We're both trying to learn how to do this better, and I'm inspired by other people's stories. We have a newsletter that we're bringing you all. It's VOTW, Voices on the Wind, VOTW.substack.com, because I'm trying out Substack, and they've been good so far. So that'd be pretty interesting. I'm still trying to get Maverick to make a squirrel Lego and put it on that. That may happen.
Maybe.
We'll see, because we're recording these all at once, so we'll see if this happens. But it's informational. It's going to be stuff I'm interested in, and hopefully inspirational. We're also going to just let you know when stuff comes out. Here's Jon and Renee Jelinek on the second part of their story, building a business.
So we were doing lessons like every Wednesday after school, and we would go across the street to this little coffee shop called the Paramount Cafe and get drinks, and sometimes I'd meet with parents. And anyway, we really liked that place. And literally one day, I get this weird text from Renee, "Hey, want to buy the Paramount?"
That's all? You didn't like...
And of course, I'm like, okay.
But okay.
I love this.
And 2 weeks later, we owned it.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't even think you could move that fast.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The guy was pretty motivated to sell.
See, that's what I said. Waiting is stupid. When you know you want to do something,
just get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Great.
Yeah.
I like that.
The thing about buying that cafe, though, and I kind of hit on it briefly beforehand, is that really changed our view on Cheyenne, changed our lives in Cheyenne, because we lived here for like 14 years. Kind of hated it here. We didn't have a connection really with anybody. And I mean, we were just running a store. We found our people like almost the second we bought the cafe.
Really?
Like they just came out, and we realized there was this really cool tribe of people in Cheyenne that we didn't even know existed, and we wouldn't have known existed. We probably wouldn't still live here had it not been for the cafe.
When we did that, it was very quick that all of that happened. We just knew that we loved that place and saw all of the potential in it, and because what it represented to us, and we were able to just like grow the community, that we fell in love with, and like open mic nights and featuring different artists in the gallery, and just seeing all of the connections that people were making with each other every day in a space like that, where it's welcoming to anyone and everyone. Everyone feels comfortable going there. And so there are people coming there on first dates. There are people, coming there for their business meetings. There just coming there for everything. We've had weddings in there, like because people went on their first date there. So then they were like, oh, so we want to get married in there.
Cool.
But yeah, so we saw like all of that happening, and we wanted to make sure that we always had a home for that, and the building was for sale. And so we started talking with the owner about that, and that one took
A year.
it took a while to work that deal out, but we were able to, through some creative financing and opportunities that they gave to us, because still at that point, to buy buildings, like we didn't have the money to buy.
It's one thing to buy a business. It's another thing to buy a nice downtown building.
And it wasn't just one building; it's two buildings because it's connected to the one next door. So, yeah, and the Paramount building was vacant in the upper floors. It had been vacant for like 30 years. Wow. So it was in need of a lot of work. So a bank wasn't going to give us a loan for it at that time. So the owner agreed to do owner financing for us. And so we were able to do that to purchase the buildings. And then we worked on renovating the upper floors of the Paramount building and opened up Cheyenne's first co-working office space there. Again, to extend that feeling of community and, building connections for people. I feel like there's a part too that I might be jumping way back that I think is an important thing that I want to touch on. We had become involved with an organization called Help Uganda through the Plato's Closet stores, giving donations to them. And one day, one of the ladies who runs it came in to my Fort Collins store and asked if I would be interested in selling this jewelry that these women at this project they were working on in Uganda were making. And I was like, yes, absolutely, would love to sell that here for you, but we want to go there. And she's like, okay. And so we went for 2 weeks on a trip to Uganda. And then we ended up going back 2 more times after that. And we are still on the board of directors for that project there, which started as a 20 kids in a barn. And now we just built our second, in the process of finishing our second actual 2-story classroom building. We have hundreds of kids that go to the school that weren't in school before that. They get fed every day. We started a rescue home there. We had a group of children that were living in this home that came from either the streets or really bad living situations. But so we've been very involved with that project over this whole time too. And one of the things on our very first trip there, there's one word that we learned in their language, which is Tugende, and it means let's go. And it kind of became our family's motto on everything. And so that's why I wanted to circle back to touch on that, because that is our thing when we're like,
open a coffee shop? Let's go.
Yeah.
Tugende.
Yep. And so we all have that on
no kidding.
our arms. Our son has it as well.
So cool.
Yeah. But yes. So should we open up this cocktail lounge? Yep. Tugende. Yep. Well, there's this thing that you see it all the time, like on social media, and people saying, "Well, why don't they do this? Why don't they put why don't they put a Trader Joe's downtown? Why don't they put a restaurant in this place? Why don't they put some housing?" And we're like, who are they? Like, who are they? So we're like, okay, if we really want something and we feel there's something missing, and we're able to add it, then let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
If not now, when? If not us, then who?
I don't want to rush it, but I do. I want to get to the Lincoln where we are right now.
That's where we're at. Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
The ballroom was 2017. So in 2018, Renee was actually looking for a location for a store, the Plato's Closet store here in Cheyenne. Well, she didn't have any luck with that, but on the very last page of the MLS was the Lincoln. And we'd always walk by this place thinking, man, that place would make an awesome music venue.
If they would just.
If they would just put a damn music venue in Cheyenne.
Turn that into a music venue.
So the owners were obviously wanting to sell it. It looked very appealing. The price was good. Everything was good. But there was this little blurb at the bottom that really caught our eye. And it said, owner would be willing to take a significant amount off for a nonprofit.
Oh.
We're like, oh, well,
yeah,
we got one of those. Everything seems to happen fast except the buildings. This was like a 4-month process.
Okay.
From the time we started talking to the folks. And 4 months later, we had a venue.
Yeah, so we were able to acquire the building through the nonprofit Alternative Arts Project. So we just took advantage of that timing.
Siguiente.
And
did you have a business plan? I mean, it's a big investment to know. How did you figure that part out?
Yeah, I mean, this was complicated because there was a lot of renovations that needed to be done to the building. It could have worked in the condition it was in. It could have been good enough. But that's not what we wanted. We wanted, that's not how we've ever done anything.
Never been about okay.
Yeah, we've never wanted to do it. Oh, it's good enough. Yeah, so it took us a year of doing the architectural plans and getting ready to start the work. And then we did the work, and then we were getting ready to open. We were like in the last few months of construction, and COVID happened.
Wow.
So yeah, which was crazy times. This was absolutely like the most terrifying thing for us, where we had always kept all of our businesses separate. We were never going to let if there was one that wasn't doing well, we were never going to let it take down all of them. Not going to let one sinking ship take down all of them. We never planned for all of them to be closed at the same time. So that was something no one ever thought of that, right? So that was a very crazy time. We figured it out. We made it all work. Our plans for the Lincoln definitely changed in how we started out. We did this with the intent of it being a place for national touring artists to come through, so that we're bringing acts here to Cheyenne that wouldn't stop here otherwise. But there weren't any national touring acts at that time. No one was touring. So we had to do a lot of adjusting to how we thought things were going to be, and opened at a reduced capacity of 250 people instead of the 1,200 that we planned on. In hindsight, there were some things that were great about it. We learned so much.
You gotta start small, huh?
So we learned a lot at the smaller capacity and during the most difficult time. So we're like, okay, it's only going to get better from here. You know, we wanted to be able to be bringing in national touring acts that, you know, people wouldn't otherwise see. Again, this is all part of like, we want to make Cheyenne a better place. We want to expose people to different things that they might not see otherwise. Not everyone is traveling, you know, to Denver to see concerts. And so while that was super important to us to be bringing in those type of artists, it's also really important to us to be developing our local artist community.
Yeah.
And so doing things for the local artists. So we do a monthly jam night. So that's the second Thursday of every month, where it's open to the public, and anyone who plays any instrument is welcome to come in. We sign them up. They put them into groups, and they form a band on the spot and get up and just play together. So we do that. We do a local showcase about every other month where we feature it's just local regional artists to give them a chance to come and perform in a venue like this, you know, on our stage with our sound and light equipment, with our production team. And then when we're seeing these artists that are growing and becoming better musicians and, you know, having like a stronger stage presence, all of these things, we've seen so much growth in people that then when we have these national touring artists come through, we're able to bring on some local acts to be their support artists. And so giving them other opportunities, you know, as well. So that's all super important to us too, that we're, you know, bringing in new stuff, but we're also supporting the people that live here, and giving them some cool and exciting opportunities.
Thank you, Jon and Renee, for being on. And super cool to see how you guys persevered and how you guys just really went for it and succeeded. And honestly have created really good impact in our city. And that's just super cool. And do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think your thought of the persistence.
Yeah.
They never gave up. I love their mantra that they're just gonna go for it, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna go all in. So, and of course, we've talked about the family, that they're gonna do it together. They're not separated, like businesses pull them together. All of those things, among many others, are very just inspiring about Jon and Renee. So thanks to Jon and Renee. Our next episode is with Tate Schrock. Tate Schrock is just a right out of school, just a couple years older than you, and sending stuff basically to space. So very interesting. It's also the story of somebody who just used, you know, his natural skills and just tearing stuff apart to find a whole new business. Yeah, very cool. All right, till then. What's my last line?
Happy sailing. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys soon.